So yeah, what do you think is the next level up? So you got the millionaires. What's the next level? All right. Well, that's enough time. So this next level are people who earn 10 or have a value of $10 million. So this is what you should be aiming for. You shouldn't be aiming for becoming a millionaire, because a lot of the times, if you're watching this right now and you're trying to learn, or at least just trying to be entertained a little bit, which is probably hopefully what's happening, you should be aiming more for the $10 million mark. I heard this from Grant Cardone. He's a real estate guy. He always said that he would always aim to make $1 million, or just to be a millionaire, to be worth $1 million. And then he became a millionaire, and he was just like, this is great, but it's not like where I want to be, really. I'm comfortable, but it's not like I don't have screw you money, right? You don't have enough money to be like, oh, I can do whatever the hell I want. So this is where you should be aiming for, at least $10 million in assets. So I guess we'll go through this again. So guess how many people in the world belong to this club? People who have assets worth $10 million or more. Any guess? So keep in mind the amount of millionaires in the world is 17 million. Okay? All right. So there are actually... Oh crap, I forgot my number here. It is 510,000 people in the world belong to this group. 510,000. That looks like a 5, right? You guys can tell that's a 5, right? It's a 5? Yeah. 510,000 people belong in this group. That's a lot of people. So they $10 million or more. Okay, so we'll do the occupation game again. Who do you think these people are? So the last group was, doctors, lawyers. What do you think this group is? Well, a large portion of this group is, people like, it's bankers, right? It is, what do I have on my list here? I guess, medium-sized business owners. So we'll just write business owners. Who else do you think? There's a couple big ones here. There's actually a kind of two ones that I want to mention here. So there's actually CEOs of good size like medium to large size companies, because CEOs on average, they make a few $100,000, but CEOs in the $10 million club in assets, they have to be working for medium to large size companies. What was the last one here? The last one I wanted to actually, I was surprised. I was not going to include this last one here. I was not going to include this, but I talked to a few of these people. I'll just say it. Surgeons. Actually, there are some surgeons that are worth $10 million. And I know this because I had to interview some of them. I interviewed a guy who was a plastic surgeon. He owned multiple clinics, even though he only worked at one. And he makes a lot of money. He makes over $1 million a year, and he's in Canada. So, surgeons. So these are like the higher up. They're a little more riskier jobs, right? As you can tell, if any of these people screw up, they can mess up people's lives, right? CEOs, they can run a company into the ground. Surgeons can kill someone if they drop something, right? Business owners, they have no stability whatsoever. Usually if their business tanks, then they tank and all their employees tank. They have a lot of responsibility. And bankers, well, I meant investment bankers. But usually investment bankers only make $100,000 to $200,000. Some of them make a lot more. That's why I put them on there. So these are obviously, that's why they make so much money, is they're at higher risk positions, right? So, actually, I forgot to include this. So, millionaires are called high net worth individuals. So, HN, high net, WI. HNWI. That's what I've written down. High net worth individuals. So what would you call these people? $10 million, who have 10 million bucks. Obviously, you have to call them, it's kind of funny, very high, I won't write this all out, high net worth individuals. And that's actually what they're called. Very high net worth individuals. Kind of funny, right? So this is what you should aim for. Now there's one more level up that I'm going to talk about here, and technically it's what you should be aiming for, but I'm not talking about people who earn hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in this lecture, because I've watched interviews with them. They say that to become a billionaire, for example, you could be the greatest entrepreneur in the world, the greatest salesman. You have to have some sort of luck or some sort of really amazing timing. Like Mark Cuban actually said, he was making his company, that audio streaming company, right? I forget what it's called. I forget what it's called. Someone can tell me if they can. But so he sold that at the perfect timing because Yahoo was trying to compete with Google, and this internet was expanding at a rate of 2,000% per year or something like that. And so he ended up selling the company at the perfect time. And he said that if it was a year earlier, Yahoo wouldn't have been ready to purchase it. If it was a year later, there would have been another company that came out. And so that's just what happens. You have to have good timing to become a billionaire. So I'm not saying don't dream of being a billionaire. I'm just saying it requires a little bit of luck. And a good marketing team. Because, you look at a company like Facebook, they were not the first social network, right? MySpace wasn't even the first social network. MySpace was the popular one when Facebook came out, but everyone thought Facebook was cooler, right? So, and where's MySpace now? Is Tila Tequila still using it? So